Hello, friends. Good morning, and welcome to this live stream where we talk about latest business issues. And today we're talking about the mission to Mars. And in a decade or so, maybe 15 years, humans will be able to travel to Mars, but they will not be able to immediately build their colonies. It will take another 100 years. So, 3 to 4 generations from now, we will have a full habitation. That means another location for humans to settle in our solar system. And this is a very big deal because, we will have two locations. But how these two locations will progress and coexist with each other, to enable that, we will need to basically look at how we can provide sovereignty to the Martians, the humans who have gone and settled on Mars. And they have to be successful. They have to basically explore beyond what we have done so far, or probably Earthlings and Martians will have to work together, and they have to have a lot of systems like political system, education system. So all of that separately defined. So we will discuss all these one by one. Before we proceed, today's sponsor is Myntra. More about that little later. All right, let's begin our discussion. The first point is the currency innovation. So, I mean, it's not like that the Martians will be able to use the Earth currency. But if Earth currency has to be used, then which currency has to be used? It is a very big question, and that is why the currency model that we have today is almost like 400 years old. Each country has their own currency, and therefore, each currency that we have is basically the country centric, and it has not changed for last 400 years, at least 500, 600 years. It is almost the same. Even during the British Raj, the currency of different colonies was separate, and this was done with because of the intention of making sure that there are no collapse in the economic markets. Therefore, if in next 100 years we go to Mars and settle a colony there, the chances are they will have to do local trade. They will have to buy and sell things locally. Otherwise, then this will be only a scientific project funded completely by Earthlings. And if there is a colony from people from USA, or there is a colony from India, what currency they will be using in their colony? There will be a time when these guys will have to break the ties, especially on the economic front, and start dealing with each other. I mean, let's go back to the example, very recent example of United States of America, when the colonies basically came from different countries, but they settled on one single currency, which is US dollars, and then they grew into a nation, which is the United States of America. So similar things will happen then. The currency innovation has to be made. There will be a specific currency, probably for one Martian currency, and we will not like to change the currency to one or two currencies only, because that will be again counterproductive, and it will spoil the system which is there for last 400 500 years. It was established 400 500 years ago. So I don't think we will have single currency like a blockchain based currency, Bitcoin it is called, for Earth, and another currency for Mars, because then it will be disrupting the whole situation that we have. So the currencies on Earth will continue. However, the Martians will have to develop their own currencies. So probably they will have different colonies in different locations of Mars, having different currencies, and then they will start building stock exchanges, currency exchanges, and start trading with each other, and also start trading with Earth. We will come to this point in a bit, but this is the starting point. If you do not have currency, what trade you can do? What business you can run? So first thing first, setup a currency is required. Setup of the currency is required by the locals, Martian. All right, let's move to the next point. Is obviously once the currency is set up, the trade and commerce. Trade and commerce is also very important. The things that you get on Earth, like for example, food, minerals, ores, raw material of various kinds, those raw materials would need to be traded in order to economy to run, the Martian economy to kickstart. And there could be a situation where colonies will have certain minerals which they have become expert in mining. They have become expert in mining, and they will probably start processing those by setting up factories. For setting up factories, they would need money, they would need investments. Probably those investments will come from Earth. They will need to get the labor force. The wages have to be set up. So the whole society changes will need to be set up in order to make sure that the humanity on Mars continues successful. So this is not going to happen immediately. We are going to Mars, but gradually we will need to increase our numbers on the Mars, and then we will need to set up all these systems. So it's very, very important. I mean, it's very important for mankind to thrive on a different planet, and it has to be completely de-linked with Earth. De-linking basically means people who are traveling to Mars to settle forever, they will have to snap ties. They'll have to let go their Earth citizenship. They will have to apply for a new citizenship on Mars. They will have to bring some investments. They need to liquidate their assets on Earth and set up new base on Mars. Pretty much, we do the same thing on Earth. If we are applying for citizenship of a country where we want to migrate, we actually do the same thing. We liquidate everything in our home country, go to the new country, and take an oath of allegiance and make the fresh investment. So same thing will happen there. I mean, people who are interested in going to Mars and settling there, they will have to snap ties. They will have to apply for citizenship of various Martian colonies. The application will have to be reviewed by some administration, which is looking at immigration from Earth to Mars, and what investment you are bringing so that you can do some business. I mean, if you just travel from Earth to Mars and then do nothing, you become a liability. You have to do something, and on that basis, people will actually call you, and then the kickstarting of the economy will happen. So there will be a lot of businesses that will be set up on the surface of Mars. There will be mining operations, there will be processing, there will be factories, there will be labor force, there will be HR function, IT, AI. Whole lot of functions will migrate from Earth to Mars. And also, when we talk about trade and commerce, the way we do trade on Earth may be entirely different from the way we do trade on Mars, because Mars economy would be largely dependent on survival, at least for next 100 years, 100 or 200 years, survival, mining, processing, those kind of things. And they will take time to adjust to new type of music, for example, because, humanity on Earth got at least 10,000 years of lead time. So they would need that kind of time, and they will need to borrow those musics and other things from Earth. They will also need to set up schools for their children, which will be also part of the trade and commerce. So if your children are born on Mars, they will actually go to the Martian schools. A curriculum will need to be set up on Mars, and that curriculum will have to be entirely different from what you get on Earth, because the children that they learn, except mathematics and science, anything else they learn is very specific to country and especially on Earth. Whereas on Mars, the civics and geography will be taught, which has to be meaningful for them, which is the Martian geography and civics. And therefore, it is also part of trade and commerce. Let's move to the next subject, which is automation and labor. So what kind of labor force we would have on Mars? Are the humans will be overseers? Basically, they will oversee the AI robots to work in the factory, or they will physically work in factories, or if there are any exploration, will that be done by AI bots, or humans will actually, geologists will have to understand the geology of Martian surface, minerals, drill down, into Martian land and find what are the resources available deep down. So I'm sure there will be lot of exploration opportunities. There will be lot of factory manufacturing opportunities on the surface of Mars. And to have these jobs, you need to send specialized people from Earth. And whoever is actually going as a specialized labor force will have to let go their citizenship on Earth and apply for a citizenship or a permanent job. Now you can also have a process of visas like we have today, where we each country import specialists from other countries for a short term. So you can apply for a visa also, and then you can actually look at how the different kind of technicians and labor, different kind of specialists can travel to Mars and function over there. So I think all of these systems will need to be established before this whole thing start, the societies start kicking in on the surface of Mars. Let's move on to the next topic, which is property rights. Property right, very, very important. If you make money on Mars, where do you invest? Especially when, if you have made the investments, and if you're a businessman on Earth and you made investments on Mars, then where will you buy the property on the surface of Mars? Will you generate money on Mars, and will you be allowed to bring that money back to Earth, or you will have to be making investments on the surface of Mars? So one of the coolest investment is property. So how the property will be purchased? What should be the rate? The rate should be low, high. That rate needs to be determined. Now, there are always circle rates on the property, and then there are market rates. Circle rates are normally set up by the government of that area. They will say that, okay, this property will be minimum at this, the starting price will be X. And the market price is determined by the supply chain. So if that property is in too much demand, the escalation happens, but it cannot go down below the circle rate. So the property pricing and how the property transition will happen, what is the documentation, what are the terms and conditions of the property, all that needs to be set up. And otherwise, if these things are not set up, what is the incentive for people to make investments? And if there are no investments happening on the surface of Mars, then the society will not kick off. People will leave, and it will not progress further. So considering these things, it is important to have the property sale and purchase to be established on the surface of Mars. This may kickstart after probably 100 years, but then a lot of preparation needs to be made. And we are geared up to travel to Moon as well as Mars. So the same laws, similar laws may apply. However, the laws will be different for each different bodies, because whatever works on Earth may not work on Moon or Mars. Especially Mars, because I think a lot of research has been done, a lot of sites have been identified where humans can live, water have been identified, a lot of techniques have been tested on the surface of Mars. So what should be the next one? Next one should be the tourism. Tourism is a big money earner, money churner. So if there are people who are visiting only for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month or so, for just exploring the place, taking a hike, just like on Earth, if you go to some country, we need to pay for that visit. We need to take a flight. We need to buy the flight tickets, and then we need to check in into a hotel. Then we need to spend money locally while we are there on tourism activities, food and beverages. Maybe we will pick up some gifts for our loved ones back home. So tourism is an important aspect for cultural intermingling, also a revenue generation. So once all these systems are established on the surface of Mars, legal system, law and order situations, and how the justice will be provided, how education will be provided, what you can do, what you cannot do, because do's and don'ts of Mars will be different from do's and don'ts of Earth. And after that, the tourists will be allowed to visit and which area they will actually explore. Are they going to spoil the landscape, etc.? What are the regulations for tourism? All of these needs to be set up, and once that is, all these systems are set up, which is starting with currency, trade and commerce, investment, law and order, property transitions, property allocations, schools, police, and then tourism, then the Martian civilization will become an independent civilization, independent of Earth. They will grow separately. And if there are two growth centers, which is Earth and Mars, then humanity will benefit a lot and will progress independently of each other and progress further in future. So these are certain things which are important, and I thought I will discuss this because in next 10 to 15 years, humans will definitely touch the surface of Mars, and one trip to Mars will take humans on the surface for at least 3 years, because that's the time it takes for us to reach Mars and come back. So first human will actually go to Mars, settle, and they will be gone for 3 years. But then we don't have to send humans every 3 years. We need to have permanent establishment that will come up in 100 years. And before the settlement actually becomes a permanent settlement, we need to think about all these things that we discuss in our live stream. So friends, this stream was sponsored by Mintra, and there are special designer shirts which are especially curated for Akulmach for our channel. The link is given in the description. If you're looking at good designer office and casual shirts, you can actually explore that. Click on the link in the description and choose whatever you want. So thank you so much today morning for watching us live, and I will catch you again very soon. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send it across. Bye for now.